Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio.
Hey, Zaron.
What's up, Claude?
Do you know what's ridiculous?
I do. And I was so hoping for you to ask me this because you're ready to have your wig peeled back?
Every single day.
Nicolas Cage once did mushrooms with his cat. So he was on David Letterman, and he tells the story about this time he and his cat, Lewis, because he's the type of person who would give a human name to a cat.
You have to give human names to animals.
Yes, you're with
All
this.
my animals have had human names.
Okay, I get it.
Larry the cat.
It's a type. I know. I'm just saying. So you guys have intimate relationships
Yes.
with your pets, and that's what I was just saying, setting the ground rules.
Okay.
So he and Lewis were sitting there, and Lewis had been eyeballing his bag of mushrooms that he kept in his fridge. And these are magic mushrooms, psychedelic mushrooms, right? These aren't
not
like shiitake.
portobellos, yeah.
Exactly. So Cage tells Letterman, the cat, he ate them voraciously. It was like catnip to him. So I thought, what the heck? I better do it with him. So he then gets down low because, he's Nicolas Cage. He's like, I'm going to do some shrooms with my cat. So he says, and I quote, after he eats like a couple handfuls, I remember lying in my bed for hours, and Lewis was on the desk across from the bed for hours, just staring at each other, not moving, but he would stare at me. And then Nicolas Cage comes to the conclusion, I had no doubt that he was my brother. So he and his cat had a moment, and I'm just like, dude.
This is like today in irresponsible pet ownership.
Nicolas Cage, you're making your mama sound like she got some splaining to do.
Yes.
Anyway, there you go. Nicolas Cage doing shrooms with his cat Lewis.
That's ridiculous. Do you know what else is ridiculous?
No, but I bet you're going to tell me.
Firing on the U.S. military over some rum.
Wait, what?
This is Ridiculous Crime, a podcast about absurd and outrageous capers, heists, cons. It's always 99% murder-free.
And
100% ridiculous.
Damn right.
Zaron.
Yes.
Have you ever been in a conversation with other humans and used
No.
the phrase, the real McCoy, or are you not a member of the greatest generation?
I am not a member of the greatest generation, but I sample them heavy. So
you've called something the real McCoy.
Oh, my
You've
God.
Stood there looking at a product. You know what, guys? This is the real McCoy.
100%. And not only have I said it, but I've encouraged others to say it, like small children. I'm like, you should, tell your friends this is the real McCoy.
Isn't that the greatest? Giving old-timey phrases to little kids.
You know this is my hobby.
I am trying to get my nephew to say good grief more. Like because right now he'll pop out with the ay when something goes wrong, and I don't know where that came from, but I like it. So now I'm trying to get him into the good grief.
You got any other old sayings you like?
I also like trying to get him to say what in tarnation. What about you?
I've been actually, whenever I've seen your nephew, I've been trying to get him to say red sky at night, sailor's delight.
Oh my God. Red sky in morning.
Sailors take warning.
Yeah, Navy
it's a bit
family.
much. Yeah, exactly.
We grew up with that. So, the real McCoy.
Yes.
There are a lot of theories on where that phrase comes from.
It's a gang smuggler, right?
No.
No?
No. Some say it's from the Scots, the real McKay.
Oh.
And but I don't know what the real McKay was.
Okay, I thought it was because the rum that was like,
others say it had to do with Elijah McCoy, inventor of the ironing board. And it was something with people wanting like his authentic items and not other companies' versions.
So it's like if this was like the singer sewing machine, like this is the real singer.
This is the real singer.
Okay.
There was also a boxer named Norman Selby, pardon me, who boxed under the name Kid McCoy.
Okay.
And there's this legend that he was like boozing it up at a bar one night, and another patron was told, hey, that's a famous boxer. That's Kid McCoy. And the drunk patron's like, no, you're not. And like, pushes him and, makes a face at him. I don't know how these bar fights start. And then he was like, nanny poo-poos. And then Norman decked him. Mm-hmm. The guy falls down. And then he's like, guess what? I'm the real McCoy. That's a great legend.
Yeah, that's a mic dropper. When you're standing over somebody and going, guess what? I'm the real McCoy, son.
Exactly. I'm the real Zaron.
Not quite the great Tim Ring.
No, it doesn't. So the most agreed upon origin, though, is the Scots. There was a brand of whiskey from Glasgow in the mid-1800s called Messrs. A and M McKay. And the slogan that they used was the real McKay to differentiate it from the various other McKay people products.
Okay, who just tried to like wheezing on their
I
name.
guess. And so then people over on this side of the ocean misheard it as McCoy.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of alcohol, there is another potential source.
Okay, is this
phrase.
the one? That...
Yes. So
All
there's
right.
this famous rum runner,
Yes.
one who never watered down his hooch.
Exactly, that's the story.
Yes, his name, William Bill McCoy.
Okay.
That's who I want to talk to you about today.
Yes.
So I have to say, I do love good prohibition smuggling stories.
Dude, my father told these like a bedtime story.
They're great. I don't currently drink, but I have in the past. And I know that alcohol, it can be a terrible destroyer of lives, both for the drinker and ones who love and care about the drinker. But for those with a healthy relationship with alcohol, it can be a lot of fun, very enjoyable.
Totally. It's like the toxicologists say. It's the dose makes the poison.
Exactly. And we know that prohibition, it didn't save the lives of alcoholics.
No.
So it wasn't beneficial. Alcoholics, they have an illness. They'll get booze however they can do it.
That's what bathtub gin comes in.
Exactly. So prohibition made getting the alcohol,
more costly,
as well as the alcohol itself. Getting it and the alcohol itself even more dangerous.
Oh yeah, people are going blind.
Yeah, so it was a stupid idea. Prohibition was stupid.
If you wanted to regulate alcohol,
Zaron,
it was.
I'm going on record.
Wow, really?
Prohibition was stupid.
Wow,
Yeah.
You're going to take that stance.
I'm going to. I'm going to issue a proclamation.
Very stupid.
But I love the idea of people getting around a stupid idea.
You and me both, sister.
So there's this also with like this kind of like rum running. There's the excitement of sailing into secret coves.
Oh, yeah.
Or like careening down country roads. We've talked about, those people before. So this is a prohibition story.
Okay.
Bill McCoy, he was born in 1877 in Syracuse, New York.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the Pennsylvania Nautical School, and when he was there, he was on a ship. He trained,
Sure.
graduated first in his class in 1895.
Good on you, son.
1898. What happened that year in maritime history, Zaron? 1898.
Sinking of the Maine?
I knew you'd know it. Yes.
Nice. Okay.
the Maine explodes in Havana.
Yes.
McCoy was there.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, he was a mate and quartermaster on the P&O steamer Olivet, which was also docked in Havana at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have the real McCoy, witness to history.
Damn.
He's just there.
Sees the beginning of the Spanish-American War,
Oh, yeah,
essentially.
exactly, right there. So he's a little hard-boiled at this point.
Yes, I bet.
1900, his family moves to Holly Hill, Florida.
All right.
And so McCoy and his older brother, Ben...
Hill in Florida.
McCoy and his older brother, Ben, they had this motorboat service and like a boatyard out of both Holly Hill and then Jacksonville.
Okay. Oh, so they're up, the north
Yeah.
side. Okay.
So
I didn't know where Holly Hill was.
Me neither. By 1918, Bill, he's like a really skilled yacht builder. He built vessels for people like Andrew Carnegie, however you want to say it, and the Vanderbilts.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like building
Big
these
money.
high-end yachts. There's these captains of industry that keep sneaking into our stories, right? So cars, though, are starting to spread across the country like a cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And ever-expanding, chaotic, new. In order to keep up with this, Florida starts building highways up and down the coast. And the roads, they were traveled by cars and buses. They're bringing tourists to all the sunny spots on the water.
These are like their old shell roads, right?
Mhm,
Yes.
Yeah. You'd think that this would be a boon for the McCoy brothers, right?
Mhm.
No. No, Zaron.
No.
People wanted to be able to drive from place to place.
Okay.
And not a lot of people wanted to get on their boats to go from like scenic spot to scenic spot.
Okay.
And same with freight. Like they were hauling stuff up and down the coast, but now it's like, we can just put it in these big trucks.
Oh, gotcha.
Makes it easier.
Mhm.
Enter prohibition. So while the U.S. was enacting prohibition, Canada and the Caribbean, they repealed their prohibition policies. So the U.S. looked to Canada for whiskey and the Caribbean for rum.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that you have a robust boat business, the knowledge that comes with that.
You have a robust boat business and the knowledge that comes with that.
You're a skilled captain. Let's say it.
I thought we were doing it together. You left me hanging, Dutton.
Repeat after me. You're a skilled captain. You can pilot in like shallow waters and
Sure.
and large cargo
Navigating
loads.
sandbars.
You know the area like the back of your hands.
Yeah.
Legitimate business is drying up. You're not too far from a significant source of quality rum.
Mm.
So of course rum running is a viable option for
It's
you.
a career path I'm considering.
It really is. So the majority of the ships that were illegally transporting alcohol would fly British flags
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
because the Bahamas were still
Totally.
British colonies. However, the ships were actually registered in Canada and were owned by Canadians with ties to American syndicates.
Oh, interesting.
So it's Canadian registry, but you're under the British flag.
Yeah.
the free trade policy of the British kind of backed this. Scotch whiskey and top shelf brands of champagne and other European alcoholic beverages, they were exported 100% legally from Britain to be stockpiled in the Bahamas.
Okay.
And then the profit margin, huge, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a $4 case of rum purchased in Cuba would sell for $100 in Florida.
Wow.
There's a lot of money to be made. So
That's
even
beyond
though
a lot.
You're
That's
like
stupid money to be made.
You're like this patriotic, guy, you've got this business, but it's like when you're faced with that, your business is dying.
Yeah.
And you have this opportunity, of course you're going to take it. So the McCoy brothers, they sold off their businesses and they moved to Gloucester, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And it was there that they bought a 90-foot fishing schooner, the Henry L. Marshall.
Huh.
And they had the Henry L. Marshall. They start building their new enterprise, smuggling whiskey from the Bahamas, islands of Nassau and Bimini into the U.S.
Nice.
So they had to go up to New England to get like a suitable fishing schooner.
Real boat. I mean, yeah, my family's near Gloucester. You got real shipbuilders.
Right.
At the time, for
the
America.
Henry L. Marshall was all right, I guess, but Bill McCoy, he wanted something bigger.
Okay.
He wanted power. He wanted it to be faster.
Yes.
Something you'll like. So he tries out a bunch of different boats and he finally finds his love. She's a beaut. And she was named the Arethusa.
Arethusa? Is that all one word?
Yeah, Arethusa. Arethusa.
Cool.
Arethusa.
Don't know that.
Arethusa?
I have no idea.
Whatever. 127.
I'm assuming it's a mythological thing.
I think it's Greek.
Yeah.
127-foot fishing schooner. It was designed in 1907 by Thomas McManus and built in Essex, Massachusetts by James and Tar in 1909. Does that mean anything to you?
No, not necessarily.
It didn't mean anything to me either. So McCoy's sailboat, though, that could outrun steamers. It was a beast. So he souped it up even more.
Yes.
And soon it was one of the fastest commercial sailing vessels on the Atlantic coast.
Oh,
He's just got the big boy out there. So the Arethusa, I keep putting extra syllables in this.
That's fun.
His boat
Yes.
could carry...
The Zarathustra.
Right? That's what... Arethusa. Please don't send messages telling me how to say it, because quite frankly, I don't care.
Oh, snap.
So the boat, it could carry up to 6,000 cases of booze.
Okay.
And so while it's generally bad luck to rename a boat, McCoy did just that. Thank God. He decides to call it the Tomoka. Tomoka.
Okay, I'm assuming this is like a Tusalgi Cherokee name?
It's the name of the river that ran through his adopted hometown of Holly Hill, Florida.
Oh, so it probably was,
Yeah. So
Or
changing the name, though, let him re-register the vessel.
Oh, okay.
Which is why he did it. So this time he did so under British flags, and that put him even further out of reach from American authorities. So as I mentioned earlier, McCoy, he refused to lower the standards of his smuggled product.
Okay.
So there were a lot of bootleggers, rum runners. They cut their haul with water or sometimes even turpentine to make it go further and to kill more people. Not Bill. He'd never cut it. He never switched labels. He only sold the real McCoy.
That's what my pop used to tell me. It was known because you could count on it because it was the only one that wasn't cut. It was
Never
the
cut,
uncut booze.
Didn't mess
it was
around
the
with
real
any
McCoy.
of the bottles, the packaging. That's what his customers would say. Hey, this is the real McCoy. He became like a prestige luxury brand because of it. His rum was renowned as the gold standard, and that let him set his price at top dollar.
Hell yeah.
So outside of American ports at the time, just past the maritime limit, and I'll get to that whole issue in a second, there would be these lines of ships filled with illegal booze waiting to offload their cargo and sneak it to shore. They're called rum rows.
Yeah.
And one's all up and down the Florida coast. They're also outside of the East Coast, ports, New Orleans, San Francisco. In the rum row frequented by McCoy, his pricing was set as the official price of booze coming in. And so his status in the booze criming community, it rose. Yeah. And he expanded his business to include 5 boats. He had dozens of men.
All right.
They made trips monthly between the Bahamas and Florida. He transported approximately 2 million bottles of alcohol during his career.
God damn.
2 million. His brother Ben would meet Tomoka in a rowboat, and he'd bring them fresh water, meat, vegetable, all this food, newspapers.
Sure.
The public, he wanted to see the newspapers because the public is fascinated by bootleggers, moonshiners, speakeasies.
That's how Al Capone made his name.
Yeah. And McCoy, more than happy to provide stories.
Hell
right?
yeah.
So he claimed that to find inspiration in John Hancock of pre-revolutionary Boston. That was his role model.
I like it.
He called himself a, quote, honest lawbreaker.
He could also take a stock in Sam Adams' reputation.
Yeah. So McCoy, he took pride in the fact that he, quote, never paid a cent to law enforcement, politicians, or organized crime families for protection.
I respect that.
And he was known, he had never carried a debt. He always paid his debts. When we come back, I'll tell you about McCoy and his dance with the Coast Guard.
All right.
All right, we're back.
Hey, look at us.
That was good. When we left off,
Yes.
Bill McCoy flouting the laws of the land, smuggling rum into the U.S. from the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
I told you about the rum row, boats anchored just outside the maritime
Outside
limit.
international waters, yeah.
Yeah, it was Bill McCoy who figured out how to exploit that technicality.
Oh, so he's like the Mickey Cohen from California, where it's like, oh, if we sit out here, ain't nothing they can do.
Exactly. So the Coast Guard, they could only legally operate within the 3-mile maritime boundary of the coast. Beyond that, all bets are off. McCoy, he would drop anchor just beyond the boundary, offload his goods onto smaller, faster boats that could then outpace any of the Coast Guard cutters. And since the deals were going down in international waters, he's technically not breaking the law.
No, completely. He's clean.
Here's something to note, though. Prohibition ratified January 16th, 1919. At that time, the maritime limit was 3 miles. On April 21st, 1924, it was changed to 12 miles.
I was wondering when it got to 12. I was just
So what's
about
the
to ask.
significance of this April 1924?
Headwaters or
Well,
something?
it was about a week after the Anti-Heroin Act of 1924 was introduced to Congress. And that prohibited the import or possession of opium for the chemical synthesis of heroin.
Sure.
So that passed the Senate May 27th, 1924, signed into law June 7th. So it looks like the extension of the maritime limit was actually not so much for the war on the drink, but more on the early days of the war on the drugs.
So they wanted to be able to push those boats out further and then give them a chance to catch them because...
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So either way, McCoy's plan sitting just outside the line worked perfectly. So we had these main transport vessels waiting. The contact boats would come up. They were captained by local fishermen who were experts at knowing all the little hidden landing points, inlets, and all.
And Florida got plenty of those.
Totally. After the exchange of money and alcohol is complete, the smaller boat sped away, meets up with a truck. The speedboat and the truck vanish into the night. There it is. So the knowledge of his rum running hack to create a rum row spread quickly, and soon there's rows of boats all over the place. So he invented the rum row. This is what Florida historian Gene Burnett, no relation, I don't think, had to say.
No, we ain't people.
Quote, the U.S. Coast Guard was sorely undermanned in the early years, effective by day and aid of a spotter plane, but hard-pressed at night. Often the rum fleets, mostly speedy motorboats, would slowly move out of the mouse holes at Bimini, Cat Key, or Gun Key and wait for sunset. Then they would spread out fan fashion, picking up speed, and scoot like so many water bugs, often cutting between 2 Coast Guard cutters to avoid the staccato rain of machine gun fire.
Damn.
Right?
They were firing
They
on
were
them.
firing on them. So the Coast Guard was given 20 American Navy destroyers in order to fight rum runners.
What are they going to do with destroyers?
You'll
Just go out
see.
to the row and be like,
Well, yeah.
look,
So, but here's
break
the
up your
thing.
line
The
it's a-
rum runners weren't just fighting the Coast Guard. They also had
Fighting each other.
other smugglers,
Yeah.
right? So they'd commandeer boats. They'd toss the crew overboard. Back to McCoy and Tomoka.
So also, you got to worry that sometimes if you were getting pulled over by a boat, that it may be one of your rivals pretending to be the Coast Guard.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly. So transit papers made it look like Tomoka was transporting alcohol legally from the Bahamas to Halifax, Nova Scotia. So they're like, look, we were allowed to have this on there. What happens in between? I don't know. So regardless of whether or not Tomoka ever dropped anchor in Halifax, there were no laws that prevented him from selling his booze in international waters, like I said.
Yeah.
So as long as he did his business there, he's within his legal rights. He had strict rules in place. He'd only let 2 customers on board at a time.
Okay.
And so it's like going into a
jewelry
convenience store or a jewelry shop. A gunner kept a swivel machine gun trained on any nearby vessels to make sure there's no trouble. So while you got the 2 people on, you're under the gun. McCoy took things a step further. He established a land base on the island of Saint-Pierre.
Oh, dope.
And
he's getting into like Bond villain levels now.
Right. So he's outside of U.S. law. He's in a French colony. There's no competitors nearby. He transformed the economy of this island under his guidance. It becomes a commercial merchant port.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much because of him.
Well, you see that like in the Peaky Blinders up north where they have that one port because they're bringing in all their Irish whiskey.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the lifeblood. So McCoy, he has this crew of 8 guys. They'd sell cases of liquor bottles. They'd stack them and then wrap them in burlap packages labeled as like hams. Or sometimes they just write sacks. Like, this is a sack. Don't worry about what's inside.
What's in there? A bunch of sad sacks.
Well, and he invented this thing called the burlock.
The burlock? I never heard of that.
It's 6 bottles wrapped in straw and then stacked pyramid style, 3 on the bottom, 2 on top, 1 on top of that. And then all of it is sewed up really tightly in burlap. And so it's really compact and easy to stow. Huh. And some of them they would line with salt. So when they toss them overboard, the sacks would sink, but then the salt would dissolve and then the sacks would float back to the top.
Wow.
That is Zaron level science.
Totally. I love that. You can just see my face light up.
Totally.
Like, oh, yes.
So Rum Row had major party vibes.
Yeah, it feels like it.
It was Rude Dude Central out there. It's a debauched pirate convention.
Yes.
Jazz bands performed on board. Yeah. Like for tourists, crewmen taunted and heckled the Coast Guard. They're like, neener, neener. There's gambling, as you said. There were prostitutes. They'd make twice as much money by sea as they did on shore.
Okay. So it's kind of like with the gold camps where it's like you're going to make a lot more because there's no women out here.
Exactly. Now, McCoy, he was a teetotaler. He never indulged in any of the vices associated with the illicit rum running trade.
Well, that is the way.
Didn't drink, didn't gamble.
Yeah. Don't get high on your own supply.
He did have a weakness, though.
Oh.
Beauty.
Oh, yes.
So for him, that beauty went by the name Gertrude Cleo Lithgow.
Gertrude Cleo Lithgow. She British?
Well, I don't know. Oh. So Lithgow, she was given the name Cleo because she was considered to be as beautiful as Queen Cleopatra herself.
Oh.
She was called the Queen of the Bahamas.
So wait, Cleo was her nickname?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gertrude was her. So, okay. I mean, I would go with Cleo over Gertrude. Yeah, totally. No offense to any Gertrudes. So people called her the Queen of the Bahamas. She had all these suitors. She never married, and she ran a full empire all by herself. The one man she did give attention to, at least professionally, Captain McCoy.
Yes.
So this is what McCoy had to say about Cleo to Robert Wrigley, who was a journalist. Quote, "She was a tall, slender girl with black hair, a brain as steady as her own dark eyes, and a history that was nobody's business. She came to Nassau as an agent for Haig and McTavish's Scotch whiskey. No one knew from where. She made no secret of her background, but she told an entirely different tale to everyone who asked. She was born in California. She'd been born in India. She was a gypsy. She'd been raised in the Middle West. You could take your choice. Members of the rum mob who drew their own conclusions concerning her and then tried to operate accordingly probably will recall the breathtaking fury she could show. And one or two must remember the pistol jammed into their ribs by way of making things clear. Nassau was not the best place in those days for attractive, unprotected women, but though she was the former, she certainly was not the latter. An able, thoroughly competent girl was she, no twittery Jane at whom one could make passes with impunity. She expected others to mind their own business as she attended to hers. She worked at that overtime, and in its course, she nearly ran me ragged."
Dang.
She sounds amazing.
This is in Nassau in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
So it's like totally reminding me of like the Pirate Cove, the Black Sails era of like, you know.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, this is dope.
And so Robert Wrigley, that journalist, he had a big thing for Cleo. Like,
I bet.
He was
Sounds
sweet on
like
her.
it.
I think a lot of men were sweet on her. This is how he described her. Quote, "Truly a wonderful personality, a woman of cultivated tastes who can talk on books and who travels with the best music in her trunks and shows such artistic taste in dress. She stands alone and fearless, a woman who would grace any London drawing room. She has commanded the respect and homage of this motley and dubious throng and is known in the trade as the Queen of the Bahamas."
Oh, yeah, that's a love letter.
Yeah, right?
That's like, please read this, baby.
Seriously. So McCoy, he mentors Lithgow.
Okay.
And she followed his example of never watering her own product. She saw the genius in that. This was a point of pride for Lithgow. And then when word got back to her that a rival was spreading a lie that she sold compromised goods, she tracked this guy down. This is what Wrigley wrote about this, that as Cleo told him.
Okay.
Quote, everyone knows that my liquor is the very best, she said, but for some reason or another, this man thought he would criticize it to other people. And he also said something unpleasant about me. Well, I found him in a barber's shop with his face lathered, and I just walked right in, and I told him I wanted to talk to him. I fetched him along to my office, and there I just warned him. I told him I'd put a bullet through him as sure as he sat there. He went away mighty quick. So she just like whips him out of the barber's chair. Come with me.
Just like face still full of lather, sitting there,
Exactly.
dripping it on his jacket.
So
Like...
she has all this legend about where she's from and all her stories. She was actually born.
And she keep that thing on her.
Oh, yeah. She's actually born in Bowling Green, Ohio, and was the youngest of 10 children. Her mom died when she was really young, but she was able to then like reunite with her father later with the help of an aunt. Like it was just like this scattered family. She moves to New York. She gets a job as a stenographer, and then she becomes a junior accounts clerk for British Scotch whiskey wholesaler Haig and McTavish. That's her entry. So Prohibition comes. She convinces her employer, like, why don't we import alcohol from the Bahamas? Like, let's just do it there. So this time she moves down to Nassau to help them. She opens a wholesale liquor store in the Lucerne Hotel, and that's where she also lived. She became the first woman to possess a wholesale liquor license. Now, the Lucerne Hotel, that was like bootleggers' headquarters. The only thing is that it had more of booze was cash. Like there was just so much money on
People
premises.
are using it to hold down paper.
This is what Jim Leggett of Whiskey Magazine put it. So Whiskey Magazine, like, do you subscribe, right?
Oh, yeah. I've been a lifetime subscriber.
Quote, bar tabs were paid in $1,000 bills and every barman could give change. Right?
That's something.
So whiskey became a favorite down there. 1919, over 900 gallons were exported from Scottish distilleries. And in 1920, the year after Prohibition hit, the shipments totaled 386,000 gallons.
Wow.
So Lithgow, though, Cleo, she's the middleman. She makes trips smuggling rum directly into New Jersey with McCoy.
Okay.
At one point, she found herself caught, kind of. She got arrested and was taken into the federal courts in New Orleans. She was
got caught by the revenue agents?
Revenuers. She got charged with smuggling 1,000 barrels of whiskey and rum into New Orleans.
All right.
Here's the problem for the authorities, not for her. While it was she who arranged the shipment, the man she put her in charge of making the delivery betrayed her, and he tried to sell the goods on his own. He's the one captured by the Coast Guard. And then that gave her the proof that, look, I was nowhere near this. He had the shipment. So they let her go. Yeah. She gets out. Now, this close brush made her a little nervous.
Okay.
So she decides to quit while she's ahead, leave run rumming for a more peaceful hobby, a favorite among good criminals.
Okay.
Memoir writing.
I'm telling you, I picked the wrong road to publishing.
Totally. Before she could do that, though, she had one more matter to attend to.
What's that?
Captain McCoy. Yeah. When we get back from this break, I'm going to let you know what happened to this love affair. All right, Zaron.
Yo, what's up, real McCoy?
Wake up. Okay, when we left off,
yes,
Bill McCoy ruling the waves, smuggling illegal alcohol alongside the love of his life, Cleo Lithgow.
Gertie.
Cleo wants out of the life.
Yeah.
She wants to write her memoir, take it easy, but she knew that McCoy wasn't ready for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She'd gotten through the whole New Orleans case and everything, but she also, after that, she's positive that she's jinxed, and she's also positive she's going to be murdered. She just has this feeling. Huh. So she's like, I got to get out of this. But then she also has to tell McCoy then it's over.
Is she into like spiritualism? Like, why is she so certain? Okay.
I don't know.
Just curious.
This is how, so she has to break it to Bill McCoy.
Yeah, it's over.
Like, we can't do this. Like, we can't both be one in, one out.
Yeah.
So this is what she said. Quote, believe me, it's a tremendous temptation, but I still have some unfinished business. Tails, ends, which must have my attention. It is urgent that I return. There have been so many interruptions as it is. Besides, I hardly think it would be proper for me to stay aboard with 3 captains. With that, he jumped up and grabbed me in his arms, saying, I won't let you go. For once, I did not resist his caresses. If you must go back, promise me that you will get the slate cleared of whatever you have to do as soon as possible. Meanwhile, I'll finish the overhauling of the ships here and the one in Virginia. We'll meet in Miami, then go on a long cruise to the South Seas and just jog along as we please. I won't let you go until you do promise. It was with reluctance that I compelled myself to wake from those wonderful moments. As I said goodbye with my arms around his neck, I kissed him. All right, Bill, I promise.
Oh.
Cleo never saw him again.
I knew it.
Yeah.
That's why I was like,
that was it.
that lie.
Yeah,
She was
it's a total lie of it.
It's a heartbreaker.
So the Fairmount News of Indiana.
I'm pulling for those crazy kids.
I know,
was
right?
like, I hope they can work it out.
Well, this is what they said about her in this Fairmount News of Indiana.
All right.
That her work as a smuggler, quote, brought her Paris gowns and jewels as big as hen's eggs and the respect of the hardest-boiled bootleggers on the Atlantic seaboard. But she thinks her lucky star has set. A jinx has tracked her down from her whiskey throne in Nassau, through the most luxurious hotels of European capitals, through glamorous newspaper publicity, through hectic romances, to the loneliness of a New York hotel suite where she can hide from the world and recover her lost nerve and her health.
Wow.
So she's just like feeling pursued by this, and she goes all over the globe trying to find peace. So she spent the rest of her life living in hotels. You know, she goes to Miami. Then she lived in a hotel in Detroit for 25 years. The
25 years? Wow.
The Tuller Hotel on Grand Circus Park.
I wonder what brought her to Detroit.
I don't know, but she spent her last years writing her memoirs. The Bahama Queen, the autobiography of Gertrude Cleo Lithgow, published in 1965. She passed away at the age of 86 in 1974 in Los Angeles. So interesting life, right? So Cleo, she stepped away from the life. McCoy leaned into it.
Oh.
Zaron.
Yes.
Close your eyes.
Yes.
Picture it. It's early morning on Sunday, November 25th, 1923. You're part of a crew of the Tomoka, or Tomoka?
The Tomoka.
Whatever. Sailing off the coast of Seabright, New Jersey.
It's Seabright.
New Jersey. You're far enough offshore to be in international waters. You hear a boat approaching you from starboard. It's the Coast Guard cutter Seneca. They've been given orders to bring in the Tomoka or sink her. You don't know that, though. You hear a short sound from the Seneca's horn and then a voice coming over the ship's tannoy. It's the lieutenant in charge of the Seneca. He orders Captain McCoy to dock Tomoka at Sandy Hook, New Jersey. He says that there's something amiss with McCoy's papers. You look at McCoy, he looks at you. Well, Captain? You stand in the door of the cabin, holding the mouthpiece to the ship's speaker out to McCoy. What's he going to tell him? McCoy waves off your offer and instead calls out, "Slip the stern line," while he steers the ship away from the Coast Guard. Full speed ahead. The chase is on, Zaron.
Yes, hammer down.
You head below deck to secure the cargo of rum while McCoy careens up and down the coast evading the Seneca.
Oh, yeah.
He makes a hard turn, and you realize that you're heading out into the open ocean now. The coastline and its speckled dabs of morning light from the little fishing cabins, they disappear from view. Suddenly, you hear a frightful sound. Bang! The Seneca has fired a shell across your bow.
Oh, snap.
McCoy's at the helm, steady at the wheel. You and your crewmates scatter to the wooden cases along the deck and reach in for your tools of the trade, machine guns.
Yeah, give me that Tommy gun.
To the forward deck, yells McCoy. You and the other deckhands return fire. You're firing on the United States Coast Guard.
You damn right.
So the Seneca responds. 1, 2, 3, 4 shells fly at you. They're getting so close now that they're splashing seawater onto the deck. McCoy realizes he's no match for their firepower, so he lowers the jib. The men from the Coast Guard, they come and they board the ship. McCoy's gone below deck at this point. So there he is, sitting with 400 cases of whiskey and $60,000 in cash. That's just over $1 million in today's money. So $1 million, 400 cases of whiskey. So the Coast Guard commandeer the ship. They make their way back to Sandy Hook, New Jersey, 17 some odd miles away. On the way, McCoy, he takes you and all your fellow crewmen below deck, pays each of you your wages, and then says really heartfelt goodbyes to his loyal crew. So word spread that the infamous real McCoy had been captured. At the station, reporters asked him what his defense would be at the trial. This is what he said, quote, "I have no tale of woe to tell you. I was outside the 3-mile limit selling whiskey and good whiskey to anyone and everyone who wanted to buy." He's like, look, I wasn't breaking the law.
Shameless.
So it took.
He's like, look, I did what I did. We all know what I did.
Exactly. It took 2 years to go to trial. All this dragging on. So he's found guilty, sentenced to 9 months in prison in March of 1925. But Bill McCoy was a celebrity at this point, in the papers, all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And we know how celebrity criminals are often treated. Mm-hmm. So not like criminals at all, is basically what we're getting at. So the warden let him leave the prison every day, as long as he was back by 9 p.m. curfew. He's like, look, I don't care what you do when you're out there. Just be back by 9.
Yeah, I'm sure you got interviews to do.
Oh, yeah.
Rich people to hang out with.
One time he goes out and he sits ringside at a prize fight at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
He's just out, taking it all in.
He didn't get the best seats. That's the prison, Elizabeth.
Remember how I told you that the government pushed the maritime boundary out in 1824? So 3 miles to 12. The government also invested in faster cutters for the Coast Guard. More and more rum runners were arrested and their boats were confiscated. Mm-hmm. By the time that Prohibition was repealed in 1933, what remained of the rum running trade just vanished overnight, obviously. Totally. So in 1933, long after retiring from rum running, McCoy began selling his own personal brand of whiskey called The Real McCoy.
Hey.
It had like an illustration of his boat on the label.
Oh, nice.
He went back to Florida with his brother, Ben, and invested in real estate. He passed away at the age of 71 from a heart attack and complications of ptomaine poisoning. I shouldn't laugh at that.
Ptomaine poisoning?
Yeah.
Wow.
December 30th, 1948 in Stuart, Florida. He was out at sea in his private yacht.
Huh.
In 2013, Bailey Pryor made a documentary about him with a line of rum to go with it, going to Barbados and teaming up with Richard Seal of Foursquare Distillery.
Oh, cool.
Whatever. So in honor of Captain McCoy's habit of providing only the best rum, they produced 3-year silver rum that was aged in oak barrels with no sugar, no flavor additives, as well as a 12-year super premium variety. So Zaron, what's your ridiculous takeaway?
I wish I liked rum.
Right?
No, like seriously, my dad loves dark rum. He loves light rum, like the clear white rums.
Yeah.
So he's all about Myers and Bacardi and all those rums that I'm just like naming some known brands.
Get him a bottle of the Real McCoy for Father's Day.
He definitely would. But when I go to see him, he'll pour me a glass of rum, and I'm always like, I hate this molasses liquor. What are you doing to me here, Pop? Why can't you get good Irish whiskey? But he doesn't like whiskey, and I do. So we meet at tequila.
Okay.
So what's ridiculous is this story, no matter how strange it is, reminds me of my father and makes me want tequila. So there you go.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
What about you, Elizabeth? What's your ridiculous takeaway?
My ridiculous takeaway is I did. I see how that's how. Yeah,
that's how that's done.
That's how polite people do these things. I see.
Mm-hmm.
My ridiculous takeaway is again, I love a good Prohibition smuggler story.
Oh yeah.
No one was killed, so
no, and it's also it's giving the people what they want, and it's based on like an arbitrary rule. Like me, like I'm not somebody who's like, we should just disregard laws. I'm not suggesting that. But I also don't believe we should hold true the laws that are just arbitrary and weird and bizarre and abstract. It just makes no sense. So some laws are, in my opinion, nonsense. And so this one, as we both agree, it was nonsense. And so the way he did it, I applaud him. He didn't hurt people. He didn't use violence like a bunch of other people. He was selling a good product. He wasn't hurting people. I don't see the problem, and I applaud him.
And I love the little sense of adventure about it.
Of course.
And like I said, like the little hidden coves that you're poking into.
I love that. I mean, you know this. It's like, I'm all about like the Trader Vic lifestyle of like, gonna hide in these little coves and gotta meet a guy for a boat. You know what I mean? Like anything that gets be close to like, I don't know, split the difference between Travis McGee, like the amateur detective from Florida, and then like the Real McCoy rum runner. I'm somewhere in between there. But neither of them really have like our law abiders.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
There you go. Florida.
Well, that's it. That's what we have today.
I like it.
Florida. You can find us online at Ridiculous Crime on both Twitter for the talk and Instagram for the gawkin. Email us at ridiculouscrime@gmail.com. Download the iHeart app, everybody. They're not even telling me to do this. I just really like talkbacks.
You do.
I do.
You play them in the car.
They're so funny. You don't know. You don't know what I do. Tune in next time. Ridiculous Crime is hosted by Elizabeth Dutton and Zaron Burnett. Produced and edited by Captain Dave Kustin of the SS Rude Dude. Research is by Marissa Whiskey Waddler Brown and Andrea Gin Jogger Song Charpentier. The theme song is by Thomas Midori Meanderer Lee and Travis Burnett Frolicker Dutton. Executive producers are Ben Tequila Trotter Bolin and Noel Bourbonbounder Brown.
Ridiculous crime.
Say it one more time.
Ridiculous crime.
Ridiculous Crime is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.